Good morning. Thanks for joining us for the News 12 FastCast. I'm Nick Proto. 7:30 here on our Wednesday, February 5th. Columbia County Commissioners are figuring out what opting in or out of the state homestead exemption looks like. The controversial House bill stops home property values from rising with the cost of inflation. This produces budget cuts, but leaders say opting in makes the county eligible for a sales tax to cover the missing funds. But the entire county must be on the same page. If a county announces an intent to opt out, their decision triggers the need for at least 3 public hearings. After those hearings, governments and school districts will vote on whether to opt in or out.
The problem that we're running into is for Columbia County, we have to decide by March 1st whether we're going to opt in or opt out. Grovetown and Harlem have to decide by March 1st whether they're going to opt in or opt out. And then we will not know if we get the sales tax in place until November.
Leaders tell us the turnout remains strong during each meeting, and that's what they want. Every piece of community input plays a part in the overall decision. The next and final public hearing for the county is on February 18th at 6 p.m. Now, our smaller Georgia counties are worried about the long-term implications of the homestead exemption, too. Roads, fire departments, law enforcement, schools, all top of mind before that March 1st deadline. We caught up with Jefferson County's council's chairman for his thoughts. Mitchell McGraw says it's a fine balance for them to honor voters and make sure there's enough money for services. He says they'll make it work while treading carefully.
We're hoping that people will spend more money on the bypass here, maybe come into our towns in the county and spend more money. Hopefully the tax revenue will take care of that money that we're going to lose.
We learned Jefferson, McDuffie, and Lincoln County leaders intend to opt in. Those hearings are a chance for you to share your thoughts. Leaders we've spoken with in Columbia County tell us that legally, leaders do need to say they are intending to opt out in order to trigger those hearings. Berg County's Board of Education is having their first hearing today. That'll be at the Board of Education building at 3 p.m. Waynesboro City Council meets tomorrow at noon on Liberty Street. Berg County's Board of Commissioners meets next Wednesday at 6 p.m. in the Berg County Courthouse. Augusta-Richmond County leaders meet next Tuesday at 6 p.m. at the Warren Road Community Center. Be sure to keep an eye out for other hearings on our website, WRDW.com. Former Brunswick District Attorney Jackie Johnson takes the stand in her defense. She's charged with violating her oath of office in connection to the Ahmaud Arbery death investigation. The defense focused on several calls Johnson made. This includes her former investigator and convicted murderer Greg McMichael. Johnson is accused of using her power to protect him. She also recounted calls made to former Waycross DA and lead prosecutor George Barnhill, who Johnson is accused of influencing after recusing herself. Later on, she brought up an emotional encounter with Arbery's mother after a video of his murder was released.
She told me, she said, I'm Ahmaud's.
I'd like to show you.
She said, I'm Ahmaud's mother. And I grabbed her hand and I said, I'm so sorry about your son, because she believes that I did all this.
When pressed by prosecutors, Johnson says her phone calls with Greg McMichael and DA Barnhill were not recorded and no one else was in the room during them. Johnson continues to say she did nothing wrong. The remaining witnesses are expected to testify today. Columbia County's district attorney is being called to military service starting Saturday. Bobby Christine is a major general in the U.S. Army National Guard. A letter from the County Board of Commissioners says he'll be in D.C. for temporary duty, but he will maintain his position as DA. His leadership team will manage day-to-day operations with his consultation. SLED agents are calling on South Carolinians to help solve a deadly shooting from 1998. You're taking a look at the victims right now on your screen. The agency says it happened at Club Malik's in Orangeburg County. After a fight inside the club, officials say it continued into the parking lot. William Halyard and Jonathan Simpkins were shot and killed. Anyone with information should contact the agency. You can send them an email to tips@sled.sc.gov or call the number there on your screen, 866-472-8477. The American Red Cross is set to start a second phase of financial assistance to help those whose homes took a hit during Hurricane Helene. Households must apply first and meet these 3 requirements. The applicant is the head of household and is not listed as a household member on any other application. Their home either had major damage or was destroyed, and they need financial assistance for unmet needs. If you meet those requirements, you can apply in person at an enrollment site. The organization is expected to be in our area this week and next to walk you through the process. Tomorrow, you can go to Mount Zion Baptist Church from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can also go Friday from 10 to 5. Monday, the organization plans to be at the Riverview Park Activity Center from 10 to 7, Wednesday from 10 to 5:30. There are more dates and times on our website, WRDW.com. Parking is a concern for people in North Augusta as the new Riverside Village expansion is underway. More than 300 apartments featuring clubhouses and other amenities are being built in the area. Some worry the new development won't leave room for cars. Fansler Construction is in charge of that project. They're reassuring people they have a plan.
They do parking studies before they're allowed to start a project like this to make sure there's adequate parking. Each parcel does have a little bit of parking attached to it, but the main parking will be in the 2 garages here. The owners of the complex have a deal worked out with North Augusta to use both parking garages.
Fansler Construction says the project is on track, and they say that entire project is set to be done early next year. More changes to Augusta Tech could be coming soon. President Dr. Jermaine Worrell was selected as a sole finalist for Savannah State University's president position. The Georgia Board of Regents will have to wait at least 5 days before confirming an appointment. Today, a local baseball park is set to be renamed in honor of a former Augusta commissioner. The Diamond Lakes baseball field will be renamed after Andy Cheek. He served as commissioner in District 6 for 8 years, and city leaders say he was a dedicated advocate for youth sports and community development. He passed away 2 years ago. The renaming ceremony will be held this morning at 11:30. That's it for the news side of things this morning. Let's send it over now to First Alert meteorologist Tim Strong for a check of the weather.
Well, one thing's been consistent all week. Morning conditions have been foggy in some spots. It's not widespread dense fog, but we do have one county about an hour ago, and that's Emmanuel County under a dense fog advisory until 10 a.m., where we do have visibility down a quarter-half mile, if not at 0. And not the only spot. You can see across Jenkins and Screven County, a quarter to a mile or 0 in the Sylvania and Millen area. Barnwell, also a trouble spot, as well as Tolliver and Wilkes County down to 0. Here around the metro, it hasn't really been that bad. We've got a gorgeous sunrise occurring as we speak. A little chilly in the mid-40s, a pattern of 40s and 50-degree temperatures that we've had all morning. 55 in Aiken, about 10 degrees cooler up around Saluda. It's back and forth, really even into the southern counties with mid-40s to low 50s. Now, temperature-wise, we're not going to be near as warm as we were yesterday. We set a record at 81. Now, a wedge coming in that's going to keep temperatures and under the clouds a little bit more into the afternoon, kind of in a mid-60 to almost 70-degree pattern. But tomorrow and for the rest of the week, we'll pick back up with middle and upper 70s. There's going to be a chance of rain that does slide in closer to about 10 o'clock tonight, but we'll be finished up well tomorrow morning. Pattern stays in the 50s all mornings through the weekend, upper 70s, and maybe another shot at almost 80 on Saturday. Next week, Monday and Tuesday, looks like we're back into a little February-like cool down with chance of showers, cloudy skies, 50s and low 60s. Have a great day, everyone.